The Hotlist module in Maximizer is both simple and clever. I'm going to show you how to use it in a very simple manner, but then I'm going to give you a couple of suggestions that show just how clever it can be when you use it as well. We'll start by highlighting Rennie Chung, an entry in my address book. I'm going to right-click and I'm going to schedule a to-do with Rennie. Now this is very simple. I'm just going to call to see him. I'm going to set that up for February the 24th, assign it to myself, and click OK. In the Activities window of Rennie, I can see that there's that task for February the 24th. If I slip over to my Hotlist window, I can see that task there as well, down here, February 24th. I'm going to go back to the address book, and this time I'm going to create a task by clicking on the Task button under Rennie's profile. And this time I'm going to make this for the 25th. I'm going to say, let's prepare the documents that Rennie needs to sign. But instead of assigning that to me, I'm going to assign it to my associate at the office, Miranda Williams. She's far better at handling these documents than I am. And look what happens when I click OK. The program gives me a warning. This Hotlist task will not show up in my Hotlist window, but it will appear in Miranda's. Do I want to continue? Well, of course I do. First of all, Miranda needs to know about this so she can handle it. And secondly, even though I assign it to her, it still shows up in the tab following window for Rennie Chung. So I can see both of these, the one I created for myself and the one I created for Miranda. Now let's go over to the Hotlist window and I'll show you one of these clever things I was mentioning. I've got all of my dates, all of my Hotlist tasks sorted by date, and I've got a bunch of them here on February the 15th. I've had a trip come up suddenly and I have to reassign these to a different day. So I'm going to right-click, modify the task date for all of them at once. I can do this by clicking the calendar and picking the date that I want, but I know I'm only out of town for about 4 or 5 days, so I'll make this 5 days into the future, skip non-work days, and click OK. And now those 5 tasks have been reallocated to February 22nd. Not a big deal when I only have 5 tasks in my list that are affected, but if I had 50, for example, this would be a real time saver. Now let me show you the other thing that I think is absolutely clever. I begin by going over to the address book, where I've got a bunch of my contacts showing, and I'm going to clear that list so there's nothing in it. I go back to my Hotlist window. I take a look at what I have to do today on February the 8th. I highlight the first entry there, and I click this button that says View in Address Book. When I do that, the program takes me over to the address book window and gives me that person, along with in the Activities tab window, the task that's associated with them. Now here's the even more clever part. I come back to my Hotlist. I select all the remaining items that are due on February the 8th. I click View an Address Book, and the program brings all of those over here into my address book window. In other words, the program has created a list of entries for me to work on today, one after the other. I can check the Activities window and see the task or tasks that are assigned to them. I can be in my Details window, do whatever I need to do here, and so on and so forth. Incredibly simple, incredibly effective. If you ever want to work this way, go up to Preferences, go over to Other Preferences, and go to your Startup tab here. Instead of going anywhere else, select Hotlist, and down here select View Empty List. Click OK and click Save. When I finish my work today and log in tomorrow, what this is going to do is enable me to actually build my list of entries that I want to work with today from my Hotlist window. So who knew that simply making a list of things to do could turn out to be such a contributor to an efficient workday? Bye-bye.